Welcome to the dark side. We have confusing legislation and cupcakes. Welcome back to the channel, party people, goons, and shooting enthusiasts alike. Today we're talking about our benevolent Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and more specifically, a designation that they blessed us with to delineate between rifles, short-barreled rifles, and pistols. Now, you may be a new gun owner. Don't worry about that. Anyway, you may be new to guns. Maybe you thinking about buying a rifle, or you just purchased your first rifle. Congratulations. Welcome to the dark side. We have confusing legislation and cupcakes. And you may say, hey, okay, I bought a rifle, and it's a rifle. Everything in front of you is a rifle, because they all look kind of like rifles. Yes, I'd say, but thanks to some very silly legislation that came out of the whole gangster mob era of the 30s, they decided to more carefully classify rifles based on a couple of factors. So that's what we're going to go over today, because honestly, it is kind of an important thing because it can absolutely affect you and your ability to responsibly exercise your Second Amendment rights. If you'd like a backstory on the actual classification process and how all that went down, head over to the Fat Electrician channel because he's got a great breakdown on that whole thing. But today we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of the actual legislation and how it affects you. All right, starting with rifles. So here we have a fairly standard kitted out, all cool for the Instagrams. AR-15, right? This particular one is from Modern Material. It has a 14.5-inch barrel with a pinned and welded muzzle device, which brings the total overall length, which is an important term, keep that in mind, to 16 inches. That means that I can put a stock on it and a vertical foregrip, and I'm not in violation of any National Firearms Registration Acts, National Firearms Act laws, right? So I can take this anywhere in the country where I'm legally able to possess and carry a firearm and use it, and I can do all my rifle stuff with it, right? So this is sort of my go everywhere, do all the things gun, and that's fantastic. But where it gets a little confusing is when you move into something like this. This seems like another AR-15 that just has a shorter barrel. This is a tri-arc gun, it's a tri-arc upper anyway, and this has a 10.5-inch barrel. Now, that means that I'm falling under that total overall length of 16 inches, thus meaning that I either need to put a stock on it and classify it as a short-barreled rifle, which is a legal classification, which requires me to file paperwork and pay $200 to the federal government for my tax stamp, or I need to keep it as a pistol, which we'll get to next. But for this in particular gun, I decided to SBR it. So I've got an old school Car 15 stock because I think it's real cool. And then I have a vertical foregrip, which I am allowed to do with either a rifle or a short-barreled rifle, but not a pistol. So again, I do not have to permanently affix this muzzle device. I have the overall length, really can be whatever I want it to be because I've registered this as a short-barreled rifle, and then I can again do what I want with the gun with certain limitations, and those limitations are if I'm going to travel with this gun, then there are notification processes that I have to go through and approvals I need to seek when I'm crossing state lines. So that can be a bit of a headache, so keep that in mind. There are exceptions to that if you are an FFL with a SOT or special occupancy tax, where you can get around that for demo purposes and work purposes. But again, as a civilian, if you want to have an SBR, absolutely can do it. It doesn't even take that long, and it's not that hard. But be aware it is going to be some paperwork and a $200 tax stamp. And then finally, that brings us to pistols. Now, again, for you newer shooters out there, you may say, "Hey, man, that just looks like another rifle," and fair enough. Again, this is a Radian gun. It's got a 10.5-inch barrel, non-permanently affixed muzzle device. But on the back here, we have the venerable SBA3. So this is a brace, not a stock, and that is a very, very important legal classification where this is designed to be fired from multiple positions. And if you really want to get confused, go ahead and look at the ATF's opinion letters where they once, when Alex Bosco started SB Tactical and he developed the first brace, they issued an opinion letter saying that whether or not this brace touches the shoulder or does not, when the weapon is discharged, it does not constitute a short-barreled rifle. The concern was that you could literally construct in real time a rifle by touching it to your shoulder or not and firing the weapon. Now, the ATF said, nope, it's not a rifle. It is still a pistol, which literally means it's classified as a handgun, despite what it looks like and despite its capabilities. And so then they reversed that. And then they reversed it again, and then they reversed it again. And I feel like they're just playing jump rope with this opinion at this point. But right now, it is still a pistol. So this is subject to all of the legal classification and restrictions as handguns currently. One of the other things that you cannot do on a pistol that you can on a rifle or short-barreled rifle is a vertical foregrip or hand stop. So this is an angled foregrip, and literally the legal requirement is it has to be at 89 degrees or less, and that is a hand stop. 90 degrees is a vertical grip. And if you put a vertical grip on a pistol, it is now considered a brand new classification, AOW, or any other weapon. Boy, doesn't that sound like legal catch-all. Lawyers are the best. So, if you're going to have a pistol, you're not going to be subject to all the rules, regulations, and tax stamps that an SBR is going to get you, but you cannot put a vertical hand grip, you cannot put a vertical foregrip on it. But again, you don't have to go through all the notification processes of traveling with it. So it can be fairly useful. And again, as the time of this filming, which I'm not going to tell you when it is, please don't look into our metadata because they just change this all the time. And so, you know, I may be wrong in the future. This is going to live on the internet forever. Sorry, Mom, but hey, it is what it is, right? So as of right now, I can legally put this to my shoulder and fire it. And again, there's a lot of great companies that make braces. So hey, that's something you want to look into. It's certainly an option available to you. But what does all of this sort of boil down to? Well, it boils down to if you want to be a gun owner for whatever reason, you probably need to pay attention to laws and get somewhat involved in trying to maintain our rights and our liberties as Americans, because it kind of matters, like a whole bunch. And also, guys, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not you're a lawyer. Oh boy, I can't talk either. And I'm certainly not your dad. At least I don't think so. So it is your responsibility as a adult to do your own research. Local, state, and federal laws all apply. Various states have local ordinances that may affect you. Obviously, every state's got its own laws, and then we have the federal laws we all have to operate in and work within that structure. So please go out, buy guns, have fun with them, be responsible, but also do your research. It's not super hard. There's a lot of great resources out there that are easy to find for getting you all the information that as it pertains to you in your area. If you have any comments or questions, please put them down below. If I missed something, let me know. And if you're from the ATF, please leave me alone. All right, guys, train hard, live free. See you next time.